What is going on, you beautiful people? Welcome back to TV and Me. I'm of course Kevin, and it's time again for the Walking Dead weekend.
Oh, she got out. She figured out the door was open too.
I didn't figure it out. You had to tell me.
Oh shit. He did starve him to death.
Like I said, they let him work the plots beside 85. I found out the schedule, waited, made sure the right people were working. I got him in my car quick and brought him back here. If they'd have caught me, it'd have been fine. It'd have been better. I put him in that cell, and I let him starve to death. It took 47 days. And then I was gone. I was where you were. And I wasn't trying to open up the door anymore either. What I did to him, it didn't give me any peace. I found my peace when I decided to never kill again. When I decided to settle things, I went back to Atlanta to turn myself in. That's how I found out the world ended.
The world hasn't ended.
Progress. After I went back, when I found out I couldn't turn myself in because there was no one to turn myself into, I went back home to cut this from the wall. I lost the car on the way back. I walked through 30 miles of the dead for a piece of drywall. The scariest thing I ever did. Best thing I ever did. I'm ready. I have a gun in the lockbox out there. Oh, wait. Hope it's lucky for you, too. Whatever you decide.
I've decided.
Little did he know.
And that's it.
You think it can work out that way with me?
Yes. I think it can.
I thought maybe there'd be something here. Medicine to help this. So, I know I'm probably going to die. But if I don't, I am going to have to kill you, Morgan. I'm going to have to kill every person here. Every one of them. The children, too. Just like your friend Eastman's children. Those are the rules. That's my code.
So there we have it, episode 4, and while this episode wasn't nearly as distressing as last episode, let's be honest, it certainly had those moments which made me tear up. And most of the time it wasn't because it was sad. There were sad moments that, you know, brought a tear to my eye, but it was also the moments of beauty, of happiness, which brought a tear to my eye also, because I finally am beginning to understand who the Morgan character is and why he is the man he is at Alexandria at the moment, and why he's doing what he's doing. Now let me start off this discussion by saying that in this world we live today, I 100% agree with what Eastman and with what Morgan are doing. But, and this is a big but, in the world we live in, we have these safe places where we can keep these people that, you know, do bad to others, but, you know, need some sort of psychological help. They're called prisons, they're called mental institutes, you know. They have psychiatrists, they have professionals that do this sort of thing. And in this world, that's how it should be. But in the Walking Dead world, you have your own survival to worry about. You have the survival of the people you trust, because trust is a commodity which is so valuable in the Walking Dead world. And for you to show mercy to someone that doesn't deserve that mercy and outwardly says that they are going to kill everybody you love, even if you do help them, that's a big leap, and you better have that person secure, because if that person gets out and does anything bad, then you are responsible. Morgan is responsible. Now, there is a counter argument, of course, that was what Morgan was saying. He was in that cage. He said he was going to kill that guy. The difference is that guy was alone. Eastman was alone. The only person's life he was putting in danger by keeping Morgan in that cage, you know, letting him out. He was only putting his own life in danger. But with what Morgan is doing with this wolf, he's putting everybody in Alexandria's life in danger. And this is where I have to say Morgan's philosophy could work. If Morgan was out on his own and he was doing what Eastman was doing, then I would have no problem with him trying to give people the benefit of the doubt, trying to give them this hope that they can come back, much like Morgan did. But I don't have that much faith. The wolf, you know, you can see in his eyes, and even Eastman said in that guy's eyes, I can't remember his name now, the guy that he starved to death, he said he could see the crazy in his eyes, and I can see the crazy in that wolf's eyes, and I didn't see it in Morgan's eyes. In Morgan's eyes, I saw, you know, a confused person. I saw somebody who doesn't know what's going on in the world around them. You can see there's a human behind those eyes, but with the wolf, it's just blank. He's gone. It's too far gone. And if Morgan wanted to try and bring him back from that, like I say, that's completely fine, but he should do it somewhere where other people's lives aren't in danger. And with him doing it at Alexandria, I still think he's doing the wrong thing. Even though what Eastman said was true, life is precious, the lessons he taught Morgan, you know, they have value. They just don't have value in the community at Alexandria. I didn't think I'd ever say this, but I think it's best if Morgan does go out on his own for now. You know, or goes away with like-minded people like him. He shouldn't stay with people who have a completely different philosophy, you know, and they're trying to help their group survive. Because no matter which way I look at it, it's never going to work. It never will, because Morgan's going to try and help someone who can't be helped, much like the wolf he's got at the moment, and they're going to inevitably get out and kill, dismember, destroy families, destroy lives that have already been destroyed over and over. And it's going to suck, because Morgan is going to be to blame. And even though he means well, it's not going to help. I mean, I said it like throughout the first time we met Morgan, actually, all the way up to, you know, where we are now. I've always said I'd love Morgan to be part of Rick's group. And while that sentiment still stands, if he can somehow evolve how he thinks in, you know, life is precious and we should try to help who we can, but those who can't be helped have to be dealt with as much as we don't want to, then he could stay with Rick's group. But with his philosophy as it is now, with Eastman's philosophy, you know, one of love, peace and helping all humans, which again, I totally agree with in the world we live in now, But in this Walking Dead world, it's just not going to fly. And as much as I don't want it to happen, I feel Morgan has to go out on his own once again. Or again, like I say, with like-minded individuals. Despite that, and even though I don't agree with Morgan's philosophy at the point he is now within Alexandria, I respect it. I respect him, and I understand why he's doing what he's doing. And that's made me feel some sympathy towards Morgan, you know. And I believe he's doing something which is right. But what is morally right isn't always what's right for survival. We've learnt that through these seasons of The Walking Dead. And there has to be a line drawn in the sand. And sometimes the only way that you're going to survive is to choose the lesser of two evils. There is no good option. And I don't feel like Morgan will make that choice. He'll always make the wrong choice, or, you know, the right choice in terms of saving a life. I just wish there was some happy medium we could come to in terms of, you know, Rick's philosophy and Morgan's philosophy. But like I say, I don't feel that's ever going to happen. I feel like the writers of The Walking Dead do that on purpose. They do it time and time again. They give you these moral dilemmas where there is no right answer. The choice is survival or being, you know, a good human being morally right. And 9 times out of 10 in this world, those two things just don't click together, and we have to make the choice. Would we do the morally right thing in this situation, which would probably cost people their lives, you know, or do we do the thing that would make us survive, which chips away at our humanity, chips away at the people we are? And in the beginning of The Walking Dead, I always chose the morally right because I wanted to hold on to that. But I've learned that I would have died a long time ago with that philosophy, and the survival choice, you just have to choose the lesser of two evils, like I say, and do good wherever you can. If there's an opportunity to do good, do it. But if it's a life and death situation and it's them or you, then from my own point of view, it's always going to be them. I have to put an asterisk next to all this, of course, and say that it's all my own opinion. And, you know, even though it is my opinion can change. And it's happened time and time again, actually. When I've talked to you guys and girls with your comments, whether it's on YouTube, Patreon, Twitter, I discuss these certain philosophical differences, these ideas, these ideologies with you. And you say things that make sense, which I never thought of, and you change my mind on them. So my opinion is always likely to change, as it has over the course of the whole Walking Dead series. And I really enjoy that. So make sure under this video you do comment your own opinion on the whole Morgan factor and what you think, and if you believe Morgan is doing the right thing or the wrong thing, or whether you feel there is room for this mercy that is continually shown by Morgan. And you have to remember, Morgan was at the opposite end of the scale at one point. He was murdering people. We saw him stab that guy in the throat and strangle that kid without any thought, without any, you know, hesitation. He went straight to murder. And I feel that's another reason why Morgan is doing the things he's doing. He doesn't want to kill because he's afraid he'll fall back into the old ways of just murdering everything. We saw that when Eastman got bit and when Morgan had that moment of doubt, he went straight back to wanting to kill. And we saw him stumble upon that man and that woman, and he put the pointed stick to him. But in that moment, he showed restraint. And they gave him their supplies, and they walked away. And old Morgan would have killed him. And in that moment, I think he realised that he no longer has to kill. So maybe it's a good thing he does the things he does, because it stops him falling into his old ways and becoming the bad guy. Then again, by him not slipping into his old ways, he's putting lives in danger, because he's saving a wolf, for example, who's threatened to kill children and just everyone in Alexandria. It's a double-edged sword and there is no right answer. But like I say, I'm really interested to hear your opinions, so make sure you do put them below. But let's leave that there. I'll be happy to discuss more of the episode with you in the comments on Twitter, on Patreon, wherever it may be. So make sure you comment and I'll talk to you on there. But until the next video, guys and girls, thank you for watching as always. I really appreciate it. And until next time, bye-bye. Thank you for watching The Walking Dead Weekend with me. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a thumbs up, because it helps me and it helps the channel grow. Also, if you've got any thoughts or theories about the episode, remember you can leave them in the comments section below. but please, no spoilers. If you'd like to support me even more than you do now, you can find me on Patreon, where for as little as $1 a month you can take part in Patreon polls or even get early access to my videos. And finally, if you want to keep up to date with the channel, you can find me on Twitter at TVandMeReacts, or you can subscribe.